look at 1,000 years of Islamic history, focusing on its central region, the Middle East. 6th century. In the 6th century, the Arabian Peninsula was the backyard of great empires, the Persian Sasanian Empire in the east, and the Christian Byzantine Empire in the west. The Arab inhabitants of the peninsula were an ethnic and cultural group consisting mainly of nomadic tribes. Most of them were polytheists, worshipping many deities. This was all about to change. Birth of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Around 570 CE, Muhammad was born in the city of Mecca. According to Muslim tradition, he was chosen by God to serve as the last prophet in a line of prophets, including Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Muhammad was to spread monotheism in its true form among the Arabs. Tradition holds that over many years, the Quran was revealed to the prophet in segments and was later compiled into the central book of Islam. At first, Muhammad was persecuted, but after migrating to the city of Medina, an event that marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar, he formed the new religion, consolidated the Muslim community, waged wars against idolaters, and united the Arab tribes into a Muslim nation. The Rashidun Caliphs. Muhammad died in 632. It was a time of crisis. Who would succeed the religious, social, political, and military leader? The question of rightful leadership will continue to be a central theme in the Islamic world throughout the ages. Muhammad's heirs established the title of Caliph, meaning successor. The first 4 caliphs, known as the Rashidun, or rightly guided caliphs, were chosen one by one based on their affiliation with the Prophet and personal qualities. They held power for 30 years. During this period, the first Muslim state emerged with institutions, taxes, and bureaucracy. The caliphs conducted military campaigns and, in a rapid, colossal process, expanded the caliphate from Iran to North Africa. The Byzantine Empire lost many territories, and the Sasanian Empire collapsed. Muslim tradition considers the Rashidun period as the glory days of Islam. However, it was characterized by acute internal tensions, and 3 of the 4 caliphs were assassinated. In particular, tension mounted around the supporters of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law. This group, that came to be known as Shias, claimed that Muhammad had appointed Ali as his successor, and therefore he and his descendants were the only legitimate rulers. On the other hand, their opponents, who would later be called Sunnis, did not recognize this appointment. In time, the political divide will become the biggest religious rift in Islam, the Umayyad Dynasty. In 661, the Umayyads, an Arab family that settled in Syria, came to power and ruled for 90 years. The Islamic capital moved from the Arabian Peninsula to Damascus. The new authority brought with it a new political system, a dynasty where the position of caliph is passed down from father to son. The Umayyad dynasty led the second wave of conquests, establishing an empire that stretched from Central Asia to the Iberian Peninsula. The Muslim defeat to Frankish forces in the Battle of Tours marked the end of Muslim expansion in the West, preventing the Islamization of Western Europe. The Caliph Abd al-Malik strove to centralize power in Damascus, strengthened the Arab identity of the empire, bolstered its administrative system, and initiated construction projects, notably the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. But social and political divisions, rebellions, and civil wars shook the Umayyad Caliphate. In the Battle of Karbala, the Umayyads murdered Ali's son, delivering a resounding and formative blow to the Shias. Finally, in the mid-8th century, the various oppositions to the ruling power organized into a military force that brutally massacred the Umayyad family, the Abbasid Dynasty. In 750, out of the chaos, the Abbasid Dynasty rose to power. They were a Sunni Arab family that took pride in its lineage to Abbas, Muhammad's uncle. The period of upheaval had come to an end. The leadership of the Abbasid caliphs lasted for more than 500 years. Immediately following their ascension to power, Muslim forces won the Battle of Talis against the Chinese Empire, bringing to a close the advance in the east. The Abbasids ceased the expansionist policy, turning their gaze inward to the construction of the caliphate. They moved the capital from Damascus to a new city they built, Baghdad. It soon became known as the largest and most prosperous city in the world. The caliphate served as a fertile ground for poets, writers, physicians, philosophers, and astronomers. Scientific writings in Greek and other languages were translated into Arabic, forming the foundation of massive original scholarship. And so, the Abbasid period is considered the golden age of Islamic civilization. The Abbasid Caliph Harun al-Rashid known from the tales of Arabian Nights, served as a patron of scholars, maintained diplomatic relations with Charlemagne, and even sent an elephant to Europe, arousing excitement in the Frankish kingdom. But alongside this flourishing, starting from the mid-9th century, the Abbasids in Baghdad lost control throughout the empire, while local Muslim dynasties gained power and encroached on wide territories. Gradually, the caliph lost political and military power and became a mere figurehead. In addition, Arab exclusivity in the caliphate weakened as Persian and Turkic elements gradually rose to prominence. The Islamic story ceased to be only Arab and became a multicultural one, the Fatimid and Buyid dynasties. In the west, Iberia was never ruled by the Abbasids but by a remnant of the Umayyad Dynasty. The Islamic presence in Spain lasted hundreds of years, slowly being pushed back by the Christian Reconquista. In the east, various Persian dynasties ruled at the expense of the Abbasids. Some of them were the engine behind a revival of Persian culture, which received a severe blow with the Arab conquest. The Persian language was reborn and adopted the Arabic script. In 945, the Persian Buyid family took control of Baghdad. Even though the Buyids were Shias, they chose not to oust the Sunni Abbasid Caliph, but to limit his power while controlling a confederation spanning Iraq and western Iran. Their presence lasted for more than 100 years. At the same time, the Fatimids gained power. They were an ambitious Arab Shia dynasty that traced itself back to Fatima, Muhammad's daughter and wife of Ali. The Fatimid dynasty spread through North Africa to Egypt, established Cairo as its capital, and from there ruled vast areas. It called for the overthrow of the Abbasid Caliph, managed networks of Shia missionaries, and was suspected of subversive activity, causing panic among the Sunni caliphs. The Fatimids ruled their shadow caliphate for an impressive 200 years, but failed to defeat Baghdad. In the 10th century, against the backdrop of the political success of Shia dynasties, such as the Fatimids and the Buyids, Shia Islam took shape, turning from a collection of political groups into defined religious movements. The Seljuks and Crusades. In the 10th and 11th centuries, political and climatic challenges struck the steppes of Central Asia, stirring the movement of tribes of Turkic peoples. They were nomadic, economically based on horses and other livestock, and excellent mounted archers. Many came into the Middle East. The process was threefold: conversion to Sunni Islam, migration, and political takeover. In 1055, the Seljuks, a Sunni Turkic family, took control of Baghdad and removed the Shia Buyids. They assumed the title of Sultan, which would remain central in the Middle East for centuries to come. The great Seljuks ruled over a wide empire, but similar to the Buyids, they did not depose the Abbasid Caliph, but controlled him. In fact, the Seljuks defended the Abbasids against the Shia Fatimid threat and became the agents of a Sunni flowering. This indicates the symbolic centrality of the Abbasid Caliph and his role as an exclusive source of legitimacy in the Sunni Muslim world. In 1071, at the Battle of Manzikert, the Seljuk Sultan defeated the Byzantine Emperor. Anatolia was open to the Turkic tribes. In the following centuries, Greek Christian Anatolia was transformed into a Turkic Muslim land. The most prominent political power of the region was the Sultanate of Rum, a Seljuk branch. The bedrock of modern Turkey was formed. In 1095, while the Islamic Middle East was politically divided, the Crusades were launched under the direction of the Catholic Church. Their declared goal was liberating holy places from the hands of Muslim infidels. European forces occupied Jerusalem and established several states on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Crusader presence in the Middle East lasted for 200 years. During this period, Muslims tended to see their new neighbors as representatives of an unadvanced civilization, with a culture inferior to their own. Saladin and the Ayyubid Dynasty. In the 12th century, Saladin, a member of a Sunni Kurdish family, rose to prominence. He was a charismatic, ambitious, and formidable military commander. In 1187, he dealt a crushing blow to the Crusader army at the Battle of Hattin and conquered Jerusalem. In the modern world, he has become a symbol of Muslim and Arab pride. The dynasty founded by Saladin, the Ayyubid Dynasty, ruled for over 75 years. They established a Sunni educational network, fortifications, and institutions, and repelled the Crusaders. The Mongols. In 1258, the Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan, occupied Baghdad. This was part of a sweeping campaign of conquest across Asia. They wreaked unprecedented destruction on the Abbasid Caliphate and its capital, which never recovered from the trauma. The fall of Baghdad is seen as the end of the Golden Age of Islam. After the death of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire fractured and Mongol states emerged. These included the Ilkhanate, which covered the territory of Iran and Iraq. The Mongols converted to Islam and adapted to the cultural world they had conquered. The Mamluk Sultanate. In 1260, the Mamluks, a Sunni Turkic regime based in Egypt, stopped the Mongol invasion in the Battle of Ayin Jalut. They ruled for 250 years. The Mamluk army consisted of slaves from the steppes and the Caucasus, who were imported as children and trained for war. The Mamluk Sultanate brought an end to the Crusader presence in the Middle East, transforming Cairo into the leading city of the Arab world. They also sustained the Abbasid Caliph as a symbolic religious authority in Cairo. The Timurid Empire. In 1370, Tamerlane, a leader of Mongol and Turkic descent, founded the Timurid Empire. He ruled from Samarkand, imposing relentless conquest and unprecedented destruction throughout Iran, Iraq, and Syria. He laid waste to cities, mass-murdered populations, and even defeated the Ottoman Sultan. The Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Sultanate emerged in 1299. It was based in Anatolia and began as a Turkish warrior group on the border of the Byzantine Empire. In the 15th century, the Ottoman Empire rose to power, capturing Constantinople in 1453 and marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. Under Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century, the empire reached its zenith, becoming a dominant force in the Mediterranean and a major player in European politics. The Ottomans were distinguished by their administrative efficiency, military prowess, and cultural achievements. They fostered an environment where diverse ethnic and religious groups could coexist under their rule, contributing to a rich and multifaceted Islamic civilization. Ottoman Sultan Selim the Grim expanded the empire 3 times larger by using new gunpowder technology. In 1517, he took control of Cairo and executed the last Mamluk Sultan. By ending the Abbasid Caliphate in Cairo, Selim declared himself the Caliph, the leader of Sunni Islam. The Ottoman Empire then spread across the Middle East, North Africa, and Southeast Europe. In the 16th century, 2 other empires rose to the east, the Shia Safavid Empire, which is the beginning of modern Iran, and the Mughal Empire, which ruled India. These 3 Islamic empires, known as the Gunpowder Empires, were powerful and stable during the early modern era. The Ottoman Empire, the last Islamic caliphate, lasted for 600 years and ended in the 20th century after World War I. The Islamic world, over a span of 1,000 years, has seen the rise and fall of empires, remarkable cultural and scientific achievements, and profound religious and political transformations. From the humble beginnings in the deserts of Arabia to the grand courts of Baghdad and Istanbul, the legacy of Islamic civilization continues to influence the modern world in numerous ways. As we reflect on this history, we see a tapestry of conquest, culture, and innovation that remains a vital part of our global heritage. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the rich history of the Islamic world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.